about something else. I wanna know more about you, Chris. I wanna know more, like, what's your story, what's your background. I don't know if anybody, like, a lot of people know you in the trade, but tell us your background story.
Well, I moved here originally 2001. I've been doing metal trades since '99. I've been a boilermaker since '07. I'm a B pressure welder and a boilermaker, so I got 2 tickets. I really love the union, my camaraderie. The people you work with some pretty awesome people. A lot of characters, man. We work with a lot of crazy, a lot of crazy personalities. Like, there's usually not a dull moment.
Well, that was the driving factor in like starting something like this, just because like you meet so many fucking people and everyone's got these crazy stories. Man. Someone needs to make a show or something like.
Especially some of these old boys, man. The shit they used to get away with back in the day. We're like pussies compared to some of these old guys.
Like, I love to hear those old stories of those like old journeymen who were like, I was up the border, like I was not tied up, I had to climb into some, I won't tell the person, but like they had like stairs, but they were still lashed. They were not bolt up. They were like climbing on stairs, go at the top of the border, work there, come back the same way, never tied off.
Like a rope ladder? Or?
No, an actual ladder before they bolted up.
Before they bolted up?
Yeah.
But it was just like on lashing and stuff. So they would, like, it's like super unsafe. But like,
or riding the ball up, the top of the tower. Or like even climbing beams, up and down beams, like. I don't know, I thought I was a rigger, and I am a rigger on the rigging list, but I went to that job. We worked together, X shop.
Yeah.
And you guys, when you guys were disconnecting those spiders at like 470 feet, my heart stopped a few times just watching you guys, man. So like, a lot of respect to those guys that walk beams, and you guys do some crazy stuff, man. Like,
have you always been on the riggers list too? Or?
Well, I was a welder first, but since I became a boilermaker, I've been on the riggers list.
Because I think I worked with you the first time I met you. I think it was like in 08, I think, at Forestburg or something.
Yeah, that's where I worked.
Because I started in 07 too, and I'd always see you on jobs or see you at the hall and shit, right? Yeah,
because we were both apprentices around the same time, and like it was cool. Like Forestburg was one of my first, I'm gonna call it wild jobs. It was like. My first job was Suncor, it was relaxed. I went to Forestburg, and it was the real boiler hands, like drinking till early in the morning, getting up, going to work, smoking left-handers, like getting shit done, pride, Those guys were cut from a different cloth, they could do things a lot better than we can now, in my opinion.
Where are all those Alstom guys now and shit like that?
A lot of them went to different companies, they've all merged out.
Some are still going and still smoking hard.
Some of them, a lot of guys I know went non-union as well with all this drug testing stuff. They kind of went and failed an RSAP or whatever and just never came back, a lot of those guys. And I think you see a lot of guys just merged into other companies because there's not a lot left.
Yeah. Now this is something I wanted to dive into. That Homeward Health program, how many people have been like negatively affected by that whole program?
In our union, lots, man. But I heard like all union trades, thousands.
Yeah,
is what I heard. And really, it's the driving force of non-union right now. A lot of these guys, like I just worked at Shell Scotford, and all the scafflers are essentially scafflers that were union that failed drug tests and now work non-union. And if those non-union guys fail a drug test, they literally just turn their slip in, pull another slip, go to another contractor.
Yeah.
Like they're really handcuffing the union, which is crazy because it's illegal, no different than alcohol.
Yeah.
But the rules are the rules.
So realistically, what do you think they're gonna do about that? Do you think they're gonna change it anytime soon, or what? With the
it won't be anytime soon. I know we currently left the building trades, and Homeward Health is signatory to the building trades, so it's going to be very interesting to see what happens there. I know we still are adopted into Homeward Health and RSAP. We still follow their protocols. So we'll see. Time will tell. I know we're bargaining right now for our own contract. We're kind of standalone. There's not too many trades in Alberta that get double time. And the Boilermakers do right now, unless you're maintenance for over 2 years on a site. You'll get double time this year, so...
Originally, this Homeward Health seemed like it was going to be a good program, or what? Or it was just kind of something that we were forced into?
It just fast tracks you to a job. Like, we've been doing this since 07. Sometimes you pull a slip on a Friday. When we had double time, you wouldn't be able to get in and do a piss test till Monday. With that RSAP, you could pull a slip on Friday, go to work on Friday. Yeah. You just do a swab randomly at any time, right?
Yeah.
So, I made a lot of money on that RSAP because I didn't have to ever pre-access. I just go to work. I stay clean whenever I go to work at any time they could get you. So, it worked both ways. But, they're getting a lot of people now. I know when I went for a test, he suspected that I was cheating. And the guy told me I had to pull my pants and underwear down to my ankles, my shirt to my nipples, do a complete 360, do a cock a chopper, and then he wanted to watch me fill a cup. So I kind of looked at him. And
I was not sure if you were gonna tell the story.
And I was like, I don't know, man. I don't feel comfortable doing this. And I told him I'll keep doing samples, but I don't really feel like whipping out my hammer to a stranger.
Yeah.
And because I refused to do that, they gave me a fail, essentially. So I had to do a full year of random drug testing, and I had to do 5 counseling sessions.
So with these counseling sessions, that's something else. I've heard you can't even really be honest with them, or they're gonna turn what you say.
I was extremely honest, and so I was honest. I've been on RSAP since 2009, so over 10 years. I've never failed an RSAP. So I told the guy straight up, I smoke weed on my free time. I don't smoke weed when I go to work. I've never smoked weed when I go to work. And he essentially called me an addict, wanted to put me through the ringer. First of all, he gave me 2 years and 10 counseling sessions, but I challenged it with the manager, and he cut it in half, gave me 5 and a year. So when I went for my counseling sessions with the lady, she kind of laughed at me that I was even there for weed. I was extremely honest. I used it. I was very serious about the counseling. I took advantage of free counseling. And the lady was super nice. And I kind of didn't go through Homeward Health. I kind of booked my own. Yeah. But it sucked because it was an abused women's counselor. So as I was waiting in the waiting room this isn't really funny, but as I was waiting in the waiting room to speak to her, sometimes there were some people that were going through some things. And I was felt so minuscule with my problems compared to their problems.
So now this third party,
you smoke the devil's lettuce.
Yeah, you're bad person.
So this third party counselor, did they agree with the original counselor? Or
No, they did not.
No,
they actually disagreed, and she asked me his name and everything, and asked why did they give you such a harsh punishment? And I just said the rules are the rules, but it just seems to me that it's really just a cash grab.
Yeah, that's what I've heard as well.
And we're employing a lot of people. I know if to do it on your own, for instance, it's if you fail more than once, if you're going to go through a second time, it's $1,300 just to do your substance abuse seminar, your evaluation, and then you got to pay for your drug testing, which.
You go to the same thing when you get a DUI. There's some kind of the impact course. It's a full weekend. We're an actual addict. Mm-hmm. You go to an addict people center. I don't know what you call it, but yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. And then they charge you over $350 just to do a drug test. And if guys get 24 drug tests, I'm not the greatest at math right now, but that's a lot of money, man. $350 times 24, and you got to pay for all that out of pocket, right? So it's big money in this program.
Yeah.
Just follow the cash.
So a lot of guys get into this program and then they can't get out of it, and they end up not being able to be dispatched, right? Or is that?
Yeah, well, that's it. I was pretty much a habitual smoker. Yeah. You guys know me. It took me 11 months to clean up my pee to be able to go back to work. And that was going to the gym, hitting the sauna, steam room. Yeah. I did actually a 60-day detox where I didn't eat meat for 60 days. We were working. I wasn't even drinking, bro. Yeah. Eating salads every day. And it took me 11 months to clean up because of my body mass.
Because I feel
What about the swab? You would pass a swab, though.
Oh, right? Yeah, every day. Because a swab, they say it's 8 to 12 hours, but it's a 72-hour window. You can't smoke for 72 hours. But a urinalysis clearly can go back to 11 months.
Yeah.
And I couldn't even believe it took me 6 months just to register on the drug test strip, and it was a 500 nanogram strip. So it took me 6 months to get down to 500 nanograms.
So you would never see that other line.
No, well, once you're when you do a pre-access, you're allowed 50.
Yeah.
When you get into Homeward Health, you're allowed 10.
Oh shit, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So
oh shit. Yeah.
Yeah, it took a while. But now I'm clean. They come to get me at least once a month at my job. You know, I chat to the ladies, I get a little break from work, pee in a cup, go back to work. You know, I just don't drink or I don't smoke anymore at all, period. So,
but there's one thing, like, I mean, like, weed was a big thing in the 80s or whatever, and like whatever, it always been a big thing, you know. But I feel like since they put like those P testing and whatever, I feel like people turned around and they needed to get a buzz, and they went to hard stuff, which I feel like got us in worse places, like as people.
I know tons of guys.
Like that, you guys know, like, cocaine doesn't show in like
a week if you go hard.
A week you're good. So let's go on cocaine instead, or fucking. Do we ever stress about like maybe having cocaine in our like system, whatever, when we go for a B test? No, we stress about the weed that's actually like.
The least dangerous.
Yeah. And nobody ever died of a fucking weed overdose.
And now this thing that's legal and like it's like nice thing to enjoy, like to relax and watch a movie or something. Now you got this thing in the back of your head. You're like stressing about it. Like
exactly. Like you feel like you could just like chill. I remember before P-test even existed in my head. Like that was not even a thing. Back home, I was like, whatever, working like on construction or whatever, or whatever. A joint after work or whatever, it would just be like my way to cope, you know.
Yeah.
And like I feel like in Alberta, I don't know if any like job like this with a P test, it pushed all the guys to go through to hard stuff.
Yeah.
You know, there's a guy that actually tests positive for meth at Fort Hills. You know, like it takes like. To get rid of meth in your system, days. It's a couple of days.
He must have been on.
So,
so
during the turnaround on the plane, he got some meth in camp and he smoked some meth.
Oh yeah.
Like I mean, like you gotta go fucking like a long way to make sure you get a buzz, but like if you could just like can probably smoke a joint, it would be okay. You know, you wouldn't go turn around for the. Anyway, so what do you guys think about that?
Well, you know, I think if you want to look at it historically, Ralph Klein brought in drug testing, and his wife owned Dynalife, so like it was the reason why he did that. It was just, you know, line their pockets. But I remember my first field job when Norelta first got built. I did my drug test. I was like, okay, nobody smokes weed at camp. I go there, and they were smoking like gaggers bigger than your thumb on the like front doorstep where people get the bus right now.
When this is back when you first started.
Wait. Sorry, I'm French. Yeah. What's gaggers?
Like you know, gorilla sized joints, like big fat.
Did you not know?
Fat, is it a new thing?
Yeah. take your breath away. They're so big, right?
Yeah, because I remember in 07 and 08 and shit, when I was at Syncrude MLV, you'd go there and like, there's people smoking. You could smell it in the halls.
Yes,
like,
man, everywhere. And you know what? I bet you if you look statistically, there was no more accidents or injuries then than there is now.
No.
You know? So it was not like they did it for our safety. They just did it for control.
Like, I 100% agree with, like, not smoking weed at work. Like, showing up to work stoned is one thing, but, like, smoking weed on your days off and then testing positive because of it's fucking another thing, right?
And back home, like I told you, there was no drug test or whatever when we were working on construction, like building, like big buildings or whatever, like pretty intense stuff. Big concrete forms or whatever. We're like, I don't know how many feet high, like 10 floors sometimes. And guys were like fucking smoking joints at break and whatever. And it was like, there's no test, but there's never been anybody that actually died or.
No.
I mean, there's gotta be people that die. I mean, for sure. But like, was he stoned? Was he whatever?
Yeah.
Well, I travel carded a bit there a couple of years ago, and there's no drug test in BC, and it was like. It kind of reminded me of working in Alberta in 2008. But, like, once again, we were on a job, not one person got hurt. You know what I mean? So, is it for our safety? You know, that's questionable. But it's, you know, it's like they say, it's their sandbox. We play by the rules.
I feel like so many people would like to actually add, like, comments on this. Like, whatever, comment on the bottom there. Like, like you're free, like, to share your ideas and stuff with us. But, like, I feel like it's such a good subject, like, to talk about right now.
And honestly, like, I'm trying not to act like I know a lot about the subject, because I don't, like, know about, like, in regards to, like, what kind of program they use or, like, what the steps are, like, if you were to fail the drug test. What would be a better option to have